Hi, North Decatur family. Brittany Morgan with you once again. It's so great to be seen by you. I hope you're all doing well. I miss your beautiful faces. Today I'd like to share with you one of my favorite passages from the Bible. It's from the book of Daniel, chapter 3. In the book of Daniel, we find the Israelites in exile in Babylon, in a foreign country, away from their temple and away from their way of life, trying to figure out what life looks like now. And besides Daniel himself, there are other characters. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego are the heroes of our story today. So Daniel has gotten himself favored by the king previously in chapters 1 and 2 and brings these three along with him to serve in the court of the king. And so here we go. We're going to pick up at chapter 3, book of Daniel. I'm going to paraphrase for you until we get to the passages that I'm interested in. So, chapter 3, King Nebuchadnezzar makes a golden statue, a really big golden statue, and he puts it up. Where does he put it up? He puts it up on the plain of Dura in the province of Babylon. And then he calls everyone from the government. He says, come on, come to my statue. We're going to have a big party and dedicate it. It's going to be great. You have to be there because I'm the king. So, of course, everyone shows up. And while they're there dedicating the statue, a herald tells them that you are commanded that when you hear the sound of the horn, pipe, lyre, trigon, harp, drum, and entire musical ensemble, that they have to fall down and worship the statue. And so they play the sound and everyone falls down and worship, and it's great and it's wonderful, except at this time, certain Chaldeans come forward. So some troublemakers in the court who don't like that these new Israelite people have such power and influence in the court come to King Nebuchadnezzar and say, didn't you say that we have to worship the statue? Nebuchadnezzar says, I did say that. And they say, well, these guys are not. And Nebuchadnezzar loses his mind. Then Nebuchadnezzar, in a furious rage, commanded that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego be brought in. And so they were. And Nebuchadnezzar says to them, is it true that you do not serve my gods and that you do not worship the golden statue that I have set up? And finally he tells them, if you do not worship, you shall immediately be thrown into a furnace of blazing fire. And who is the God that will deliver you out of my hands? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego replied to the king. This is verse 16 and 17. These are the good ones. O Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to give you an answer concerning this matter. If it be so, our God, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the furnace of blazing fire, and he will deliver us out of your hand, O king. But even if he does not, verse 18, even if he does not, let it be known to you, O king, that we are not going to serve your gods or worship the golden image that you have set up. The first time, as an adult, that I heard this passage, I was really convicted there at verse 18. Even if he does not, God will save me. But even if he doesn't, I am not going to worship false gods. I will not worship your idols. I will not bow down to things that are not my God, even when my God doesn't save me from the fiery furnace. And that's the kind of faith that I'm praying for right now. And it's the kind of faith that I'm praying that you guys have. There's a lot out of our control right now. There are a lot of things that we don't know. We don't know how long we're in quarantine. We don't know who's going to get sick. We don't know who's going to be really affected if they get sick. We don't know who's suffering at home alone with mental illness or even just generally sad. We don't know these things, and we can't stop the bad things that are happening. There's out of our control. What we do have control over is doing our part, washing our hands and flattening the curve and staying home and all of that. And so while we continue to do what we can do, I urge you to have the kind of faith that looks at things that are scary and says, my God will save me. And even if he doesn't, I will still worship my God, because my God is still God. I love you guys. I miss you. I am doing well. My children are well. And we hope that you are also. We'll see you next time. Bye.